Let's see what happens, shall we? Why have I called this video something along the lines of "my pond nearly exploded"? Oh, that, my friends, is not very straight. Whoops. Now, in my usual form of just being open, honest, showing everything, I'm not going to stand here and say, yeah, we did it, it was fine, it was perfect, it was spot on. I will show you the things that we did wrong, because it was down to us. Now, obviously, as you saw in the last video, or the initial video, I ordered the wrong wood. I was meant to get 4x2s. I got 1.5s by 2.5s. That's part of the reason why. Okay, so we did double them up, as you saw. We doubled up the thickness, and then we used concrete bolts to go into the concrete base. That's where the problem lay. That side there, pretty much spot on, absolutely fine. The back side, absolutely spot on, no bowing at all. Back, absolutely fine. So why only this side? Obviously, the expanding foam isn't doing anything structural, but I'm going to put a photo up in a moment. But that's where there was a concrete bolt going in. So I'll put the photo in here, and essentially what happened is as we put the concrete bolt into, so through both pieces of wood into the concrete, it chipped that concrete away. So it was just hanging loose. So when we put one in each center part of the pond, there was no concrete bolt in this side, which is why all of the pressure was coming this way, causing it to bow as badly as you can see here. Now, as you can see, I've also fit more braces on this side as well. Connected them there, all good, no worries. I also did some internal work because I took the whole side panel off. Again, I didn't film this because it was looking like it was a bit of an emergency. So I took the side panel off. As you can see by this photo, I then put some more bracing in the middle, really tried sealing it up, nice 75mm screws, and really basically went to town on securing it that little bit more. I am now pretty happy with how this is, because where that one didn't go in, I put 2 on this side and 2 on that side. So this side of the pond now has 4 concrete bolts, just to make sure. If I was to do it again, obviously you learn. This is the first pond I've ever built. Obviously my dad's built before, but this is the first one he's done on a concrete base as well. This is the first time we've ever done one in this sort of scenario. If I was to do it again, and I'm telling you this because obviously if you followed the last one, if you want more advice, learn from my mistakes as well, I would put a minimum of 2 concrete bolts in each side just to make sure, because there's a lot of water there. So yeah, that is how we're currently looking. New trellises on the back and side, ready for the clematis to follow over. These fish are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. They're big, obviously. This pond is too small for them, we know this, but it's temporary until my dad builds a bigger pond in his new garden. And with that being said, we're going to film that as well. So he wants to build 2 ponds in his new garden. He wants to build a big one, a big raised pond for his koi, and he wants to build a nature pond. Speaking of, so do I. And it's going to go in here. I don't know how big it's going to be yet. It depends how much liner I've got left. But I think a little natural pond just sat there with the remaining liner I've got is going to be beautiful. That fern was by the pond, but I think it was taking up too much space for the azalea, the hibiscus that we've got, and that rose bush. So I moved that over there, and it seems to be bouncing back quite nicely. But I think in here is going to be a beautiful little nature pond for frogs, newts, all of that. I planted some wild flower seeds in the back. Please ignore that. I did have it like a biological filter on the pond. So stick around, because at some point, hopefully soon, I'm going to get digging and get a nature pond there. So that basically means that on this channel you've got another 3 ponds coming that are going to be built. 1 more here, 2 more at my dad's house. So that's 2 more nature ponds, 1 more koi pond, and there's going to be plenty more fish content coming anyway, because when he has his fish taken back, I'm going to get some baby Japanese koi for our one. So stick around. Okay, so 10 fish made the journey, 9 fish remain. The reason being, the fish that came down was a Shiro Utsuri. For those of you who don't know, that's a black and white Japanese koi, and it already came down in a bad condition. I'm not sure if I've got any photos or videos of him. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of a spike in water chemistry, and because he was already not very well, he didn't make it. Everyone else is absolutely fine. I think it could have been one of 2 reasons. Hang on, before we carry on, look at that dragon. Damn net. Reason number 1, I ran out of Jubilee clips and I had to connect the pump to the filter, the hose, with cable ties. Popped off a few weeks later, so it was doing quite well for a while. Popped off a few weeks later, and the filters were sat without any new water running through them for 24 hours, maybe 30 hours, which could have killed the good bacteria, the beneficial bacteria, which means that when it ran again, it might have had another dip. The other thing that might have done it, which, correct me if I'm wrong, we were struggling with blanket weed and we didn't have a UV on there. We now have a nice big UV in there. By the way, there's the filtration. You haven't actually seen that yet. So it goes from the pump down into that filter down there. It then goes through the UV, or whichever direction, into that one, and then back into the pond again. However, that went in there, and obviously by doing so, it killed off a lot of the algae, a lot of the blanket weed, things like that, which I can only assume caused a spike in ammonia, which obviously then nitrite, and then slowly getting into nitrates potentially. I could be wrong, but I think that could be the other reason as well. Stopped feeding them for a few days. I'm going to wait until the ammonia and nitrite are balanced, do a big water change, really get the nitrate down as well. But everyone else seems fine. As you can see, swimming around beautifully. Nice little kahaku there, platinum ogon. Got a couple of the ghost koi in the back over there. There's the sturgeon. I might actually take the net off so that we can see them better. There we go, that's better. Now I think that's a doitsu. I could be wrong again. People feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Kahaku, 3 of the ghost koi. A couple of them are butterflies, as you can see, those 2 there. That's a big mama there. Hang on. There we go. Big ghost there. But yes, so we have 9 fish remaining, which is 8 koi or carp, like the ghost koi, and the sturgeon, who, to be fair, we didn't film getting to the pond, because when he turned up, he was upside down. So it's very much a rush to get him in. I mean, he survived, as you can see very well, a 4.5 hour journey in the car. No one was confident he'd make it. Didn't have a choice. But as you can see, well, I say that as you can't see because of the glare. There we go. Doing absolutely beautifully. Really doing well. Big fish. Beautiful fish. So yes, that's how we're looking fish and pond wise. So whilst we're here, let's have a quick overview of what's going on. These cables look awful, obviously. It's for the UV. So they're going to need tidying up, but I need to extend them because they're only into one plug. I still need to paint that, bottom part. I need to put another coat of black on the top and bottom deckings. I also need to make sure I finish that. Coming around the side, again, cables need neatening up. Hoses maybe need neatening up. Nice little bird feeder next to the koi pond. These rocks are all going to be used for the nature pond, I think. Rhubarb, new blueberry bush, lilies. But as you can see, work needs doing here. But it's really coming together. Yes, I messed up on this side of the pond. It could have ended up quite bad. It didn't. We caught it in time. Essentially, we saw that before we saw it bowing, we saw that these had started coming away. And then upon closer inspection, we saw the bowing. But it's all sorted. We've had this like this for a good few weeks now, and as you can see, still the same gap as there was before. But yeah, that is how we're looking. I do want to do more with this pond, obviously. This is it for the meantime, because it, like I say, it's almost a temporary holding pond. But in general, it is our pond for our garden. We've got some beautiful flowers going up there. Obviously, we've got the bird feeder. I want to put some passion flowers across the front here. I'm going to start growing them soon. But yeah, in general, we're looking really good. Now, like I said in the first video, do as we say, not as we do. And I did say use 4x2s. Don't use the ones we did. That was my fault. I typed in on the website 4x2s. I saw the lengths. I put them in the basket. I ordered them. Turns out they weren't 4x2s. It was just in the wood section. My bad. So yeah, use 4x2s. Really secure it to the concrete base, because something like this does preferably need a concrete base, unless you're sort of maybe digging as well, so that a lot of the pressure can be under the ground. But yeah, all I will say is stick around, because whilst this is how we are looking currently, there is definitely more to come. I'm still considering putting like a roof, like a cover above the pond as well, which would look quite nice, especially once the clematis goes all the way around. I need to finish painting. I'm going to do trellises between the two braces, probably same that side as well. Put some trellises so that our plants can grow around, really make it nice and natural looking. I was looking for the sort of pinks and purples, so that azalea is perfect. The hibiscus was a sort of pinky orange, but yeah, really looking decent. But yes, we did make mistakes, and that's fine, because, well, we learn from them. I'm happy, my dad's happy. Oh, hello. He's a gutty one, that one. I'm not sure what he is, but that is a gutty fish. He's always the first to eat. But yeah, all I'll say is stick around, because once I start getting my koi as well, the ones that I've got in mind, yeah, I've got some ideas. But let's have one final look before the net goes back over, because I needed to redo it anyway. As we can see, gutty boy there, a couple of beautiful fish here. There we go. If I can get some better footage of the sturgeon, I will. I'm also going to put in some footage of them turning up, a couple of them. I didn't manage to film much of it, but I will put some B-roll in here of when we started adding stuff and the early days of it. There's that. And stick around, because I'm hoping that little nature pond is coming soon, and I've got some lovely ideas for it. I'm really trying to get as much wildlife and stuff in this garden as I can. I'm starting to get into my plants a lot more before my time, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, ladies and gents, I hope you've enjoyed this one. Special shout out to the patrons. If you want to join the Patreon, the link will be below. Love you all, appreciate you all. But apart from that, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all of the good stuff, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.